You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
What's up, Steeler Nation? Welcome to the Mark Lesko Podcast. I'm your host, J-Rod, and this is Steelers Central. Well, we have now seen two versions of Aaron Rodgers, and we've seen two different results. Boy, that was tough. That's as bad as a home game opener as you can get. The overall attitude of it is that the defense looks as bad as they were. And naturally, I saw the other results that the Bills just completely handed the Jets a loss. Like, it wasn't even close. Yeah, 30-10. Yep. You know, seeing how the cornerbacks handled Sam Darnold, and I don't know, like, I want to say Horton was the other wide receiver that had a big day. I mean, naturally the names are just going to depress because it's like these guys don't have any, like, oh my goodness. I mean, you have Jackson Smith-Njigba, 8 receptions, 103 yards. Cooper Kupp had 7 receptions, 90 yards. I mean, I think Sam Darnold, yeah, he had a passer rating of 89, 22 for 33, 295 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he threw 2 picks, but didn't really matter. And, of course, Kenneth Walker III had 105 rushing. Everything. It's about as bad as it can get. The defense did absolutely nothing today. They basically just got mauled. I mean, Kenneth Walker averaged 8 yards a run, not stopping anything. And pretty much everybody's yardages were like, you know, their longs were 43 yards for Smith-Njigba, 24 yards for Ario. Barner had 19. Like, everything, like, their long yards were always a first down and then some. I mean, yeah, Torrey Horton, I've never heard of that guy. Never heard of A.J. Barner. No one. And yet our high prolific, high-paid defense did what they did and allowed that. And, of course, like I said, you see on the other side of the spectrum, Aaron Rodgers, 18 for 33, 203 yards. He averaged 6.2 yards a throw, had a touchdown, 2 interceptions, and sacked 3 times. And that line is just as bad as it was. And, again, defense got worse. Jaylen Warren, 14 carries, 48 yards. He averaged 3.4 yards a carry. Not going to get it done. Kenneth Gainwell, 5 carries for 20 yards, averaged 4. Jaylen Warren had 4 receptions, 86 yards, but everybody else was under 30. That's just insane. Yeah, it's basically just the worst thing that could have happened. I mean, Chris Boswell, guys, let's try and find positives because he had a great day. One for Bos, we wouldn't even be close to this. And seeing them not still establish a run game with that line on top of everything else, I mean, yeah, it really does come to show you that the offensive coordinator for the Ravens is now the head coach for the Seahawks. Don't know the dude's name, but he knew exactly how to play us, and that's just what gets exposed with Tomlin. And here we go again with the coaching staff, play calling, and his leadership, preparing. I don't know what else to say. It looked like nobody had anything ready or an answer. And, yeah, I know we had a lot of injuries. I mean, I wanted to correct it from this afternoon. Jabril Pepper, I'm so sorry about that, making the mistake with Julius, but, you know, didn't really hear a whole lot of names. Again, defense just did not do anything. I mean, I look at the whole setup where if you hear all these things, it's like Peyton Wilson, yeah, he had a sack and he had 8 solo tackles. Chuck Clark had 6 solo tackles. Thornhill had 5. Jack Sawyer had 4 with a sack. And Patrick Queen, yeah, TJ went quiet. Cameron's kind of still quiet. I mean, between Slay, Highsmith getting hurt. Yeah, it just kept snowballing, and again, all these different plays, and it's just seeing what it all came out to. They weren't prepared. They could not have been. There's no way you can tell me that team had any chance to do something. I mean, in the half, I know that they were up 14-6. Yeah. Or no, 7. They were 14-7 because they let them score a touchdown. Sorry. Yeah. We had all the momentum in the world going into the second half with that huge drive. And they ended the half going up on a touchdown. They were going to get the ball back. Everything was supposed to go their way. And they just didn't come back out. I really don't know what to say about it. They just did not come back out. They adjusted. They learned from their mistakes. And, yeah, again, that Seahawks coach got the better of Tomlin. And, yeah, Aaron Rodgers looked about as bad as you can ask him to look. I mean, he looked like that last week. We'd be 0-2. But that's kind of what you're going to get, I guess, from this inconsistent team with their inability to show up every week. I mean, that right there is unbelievable. The fact that they came home and saw all their, video and, what they did wrong, and they didn't adjust really at all. In fact, they got worse. I just cannot believe how bad that defense looks. It's absolutely criminal. It's just about as bad as, again, I'm just going to start using that. It's as bad as it can get with this situation. And luckily, we do have another team that, they're showing, not a whole lot of promise this year either, but they're still going to try to do something. I mean, I think if I last saw, the Patriots were winning or did win their game against. Yeah, they won the game against the Dolphins 33-27. So that's what we're going to look forward to next week. And we're going to be in New England. I really don't know how else to look at what comes next after that, because, again, it's going to be Minnesota overseas, and then we start into the actual AFC North play. I think our first game is against the Seahawks in a couple of weeks. No, the Browns. We're home for the Browns. Yeah, I know that. I think the next game is against Cincinnati after that. Yep. It's going to be at Cincinnati. Yep, so we're home after the bye. So it's like, wow. We got to stretch, guys. We got ourselves a pretty ugly next couple of weeks. And, again, I don't think there's any way to really solve this right now because, again, all these guys, and they just could not look anywhere near competent. Like, it's the most asinine thing that I could have imagined. I mean, we are looking right now as a losing team because if you're going to look like that against the Seahawks, again, the Seahawks, I don't know if they really have enough for that to be competitive. But here we are, guys. The Steelers are beating the Steelers. Tomlin is they just keep finding ways to lose with him. In that sense, like they had the opportunity to do something with the home opener. And again, putting in Caleb Johnson, I don't know what else to say about that decision, but I mean, you can't look like that, especially in your debut. Like that was a huge opportunity for him. And yet they just decided not to take care of things. I mean, I don't know how in the world you don't know how to catch a ball, like when a fair catch, like it's just muffing that catch. I mean, unbelievable. And I was so excited when I found that they drafted him. And of course, something like this has to happen in his first game. just making it look, again, more bleak and just more, this is awful. I mean, I don't know how else to spin this. I mean, I like that we have Chris Boswell, but again, can we win a game 9-7? That's the only way it looks like we're going to win now, because again, if the offensive line can't get better and Aaron Rodgers keeps getting rushed like that, and he's going to start looking like that inept, I mean, this defense, again, is just, I cannot believe what they have been giving up this whole season. They have just shown nothing. They have shown absolutely nothing in terms of like blitzing. They don't like try to get at the quarterback. Like, it just seems like every guy that gets thrown to is like 5-10 yards open. I mean, everything about, like, they can't stop the run. They are constantly giving up. Again, they averaged 8 yards a run with Kenneth Walker today. That is ridiculous. I cannot believe how much money is in this defense, and they can't look anywhere near competent. Nowhere near. And that's what they look like against teams like the Jets and the Seahawks. Guys, what are we going to do when they have to face the Ravens and the Bills and the Lions? It's going to be a massacre if they don't figure it out. I mean, I don't know how you can figure it out. Everything about these games, it's like that's where you're supposed to figure things out with these teams that are not technically like playoff teams. And yet, here we are, looking like that against them. Wow. It's abysmal. It's a very, very bleak-looking future at this very moment right now with this defense. And again, I can only ask so much from Aaron Rodgers. I can only ask so much from Chris Boswell. Again, all the positives you can think of with this team, there's like maybe 4 or 5 guys because, as like I said before, I wanted to see that Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, or TJ Watt start to get at some guys. Still can't do that. Still, I mean, they got like, 2 sacks. One from Wilson and the other one from, who was the other sack? I know it's not as well known, but yeah, there was like a couple sacks in this game. So the defense did penetrate a couple times, but again, it's just the whole game just looked like it was like they didn't want to try to establish anything. Like they just looked like they were just going through the motions. And that's the worst thing you can do, especially at a home opener. Like everything about this game just screamed like they had a chance to just really have some fun. And all they did was just completely fall apart. Everything about this game just fell apart. Everything on the defense was bad. I mean, the only saving grace is that Chris Boswell gave us points. Like, he is awesome to always hit those kicks every time. Like, he is great to see, but the offensive line didn't give us anything. And, yeah, players like Caleb Johnson having that happen to him, oh, my goodness, guys. I feel so bad. I feel terrible for when a kid has to have that happen to his first game. But this is what you have to deal with sometimes. I mean, again, it's the inconsistencies of the preparation. You look at how they prepare themselves in good games and when they show up, and then you see these inconsistent throws or bad play calling and just the lack of looking like you're there in the game. And it all stems from like these players getting ready by the coaching staff. It has to fall down on him as much as these players. I know they have to execute, but man, this whole team just looks like there is no leadership right now. With all that money and with all that time, you guys cannot find any kind of leadership on that field. What more can there be said about this? This whole game could have easily gone the other way. Easily. Because again, I know that players like Sam Darnold, they have talent. I know that. And they have players like Smith and Jigba, and they have Walker. I know they have some names. But, man, with all that profile and all that money you're putting into the defense, they should have been able to have at least an answer, and they had nothing. Absolutely nothing, guys. This is really what it stems from. These players had every opportunity to do something, and they just decided not to. So I really apologize, guys, for being so negative about this. But what more can we say about this pitiful game? Like, it was just bad all around. So, I mean, you had one shining moment with DK getting that touchdown in the end of the second half, or first half. But, yeah, the rest of the game was just all these mental errors and then just letting it completely take over. And, again, when you don't have leadership, that's what happens. You just completely derail. You completely the whole thing unravels, and then this is what you're left with, this carnage that all these bodies are just laying left and right. Just it's pretty abysmal. It's pretty brutal. I cannot imagine what these guys are going through in the locker room and what they have to go through for the practice this week, because Derek Harmon will be back soon, but that's one guy that like may do something with the run. Maybe. I know that's why you brought him in, because you need someone who's going to stop the run. But it's like, man, between Cole Holcomb and Killebrew and Wilson and Hayward, I mean, it's just like any guy can just get a hold of somebody, just put him down. Like, I don't understand how they are just going through the motions at practice, and then this is what you see as a result at a game. It was just terrible. Absolutely atrocious, and cannot believe they gave us that kind of performance. But again, when it's Tomlin and company, you just don't know what you're going to get with this guy. You just don't. You see a great team one time, and then great comeback energy. Like, it's just all over the place, and then this happens too. So I do apologize again, guys, for how this whole thing went down, and I wish I had some better things to talk about, but this was a stinker, and they have to really kind of collect and move on. They play the Patriots next week, and yes, I will be back tomorrow to kind of dive into it, but it's just so many problems, guys, so many. And I don't know about doing anything in season is going to help them, but that's what you got to try to strive for, Just try to wipe the slate clean for next week and move on from it. But you got to learn a lot from this one. You just got to learn how to freaking find some sort of consistency. Try to find someone who knows how to take care of the ball, someone who knows how to stop the run, get on their block. I mean, again, the corners between Slay and Ramsey. I know Ramsey had a great moment and he had a great interception. It was awesome to see that. That was a good positive too. But between Slay and anyone that was pretty much on that side of the ball, it just was non-existent. Dude, I don't know. It's a lot. So I do apologize one more time for this. And for next week, guys, let's just go to the show halftime. Like, with the Ravens and the Browns, I know the Ravens were going to win that game, but I mean, the Browns looked like they just did not have any chance to do anything. Like, with that final, what was that score? 41-17. My goodness. I mean, Myles Garrett and defense didn't have any answers for Lamar and company. I know it was in Baltimore, but yeah, it just shows you how important it is for that team to be consistent. And again, I see Roquan Smith had a huge part in how they played that game, and there was a huge momentum shift. And but with the Bengals, they just edged out the Jaguars, of course. And Joe Burrow's hurt, and it's just like, I don't know how severe the injury is. They said he wouldn't return, but yet they somehow managed to find a way to win that game. So now here we are, 1-1, and we're tied with the Ravens, and the Bengals are 2-0. I mean, of course, the Browns are 0-2. I mean, we'll never be as bad as the Browns. Always remember that, folks. We'll never be as bad as the Browns. Try and find the positives, but, man, I cannot believe what I witnessed. I just cannot get over that. That's a rough one, guys. But to close this all out, guys, and I'm sorry to make it short, but, again, there's really not much more to talk about. So I just know that this has got to be addressed in terms of when you look at the coaching staff between Terrell Austin and Arthur Smith. Like, neither one of them came prepared today. None of them. I just feel like we've done nothing to give us something to be positive for. I mean, again, I don't understand how you had that half and then you just turned it around completely and not showed up in any capacity. So they just they've got to figure it out. There's a lot to figure out, but it all starts with them, and they got to get these players ready for the next week's game, because if they continue to, if the Patriots put up 30 points against us and then we go to London and they put 30 points up again, I mean, my goodness, are we going to go down as the team that gives up 30 points a game? I just don't get how bad this defense can look, but here we are. And hopefully by next week they can use that game to figure things out again. But it's in New England. and you didn't look too bad. I mean, the Dolphins are not. They're all over the place too. They're very consistent. So I don't know how you can judge it on what the Patriots have done so far. Because again, they took on, I forget who they won against in Week 1, but they beat. They beat up on the Raiders, and it's like the Raiders are inconsistent too. And then you have this game today. I don't know how to really judge it, but I'll go more into that tomorrow. So I'm so sorry, Steeler Nation. You got to hold your heads up high. Try your darndest not to let it get you down. I'm not a drinker, but if you guys are, you have one for me because it was a tough one today. So hope you guys have yourselves a good one. I will see you guys tomorrow with the next episode. And until then, guys, here we go, Steelers.